Good afternoon from Thorpe Park Resort, where I'm here today to check out all of the latest updates from around the park, including some big construction over at Project Exodus, going to be the UK's tallest roller coaster, making its way to the park in 2024. And also, Fright Nights construction has commenced. I know we're in summer, and Thorpe Park are already talking and making moves about Fright Nights, which is crazy to think. But yeah, we'll show you all of the latest updates from Thorpe Park. It's not very often that I come to Thorpe Park. This is only going to be my second visit this whole season, and that's because there's a certain theme park up in the Midlands with a particular ride that keeps on getting updates. Yes, I'm looking at you, Nemesis. Stop moving so quickly. Like, every time I come to a different theme park, you've installed a new piece of track, and then I have to go there the next day to cover the updates. Just slow down a little bit. But yeah, today we're at Thorpe Park. Been getting back on some awesome themed attractions here at the resort as well, including Walking Dead the ride, maybe. But yeah, Thorpe Park is an amazing theme park, and their operations over towards the entrance aren't usually great, so I recommend getting here as early as possible or after the morning rush at around 10. But as I was recording that intro clip, I noticed down here in the staff area at Thorpe Park, if this actually focuses a little bit, there's actually a Walking Dead do or die sign, which used to be an old ride, well, not an old ride, an old maze here at Thorpe Park. And it's nice to see that they've kept all that signage. There's also some old Thorpe Park signage in there as well, the old branding for it. Very interesting. I looked at it whilst I was recording, I was like, wow, I've got to show you guys this. Like, all of the old signage in there. It's nice to see that they've actually kept it all, because they could have just discarded it or used it for something else. They've kept it all in that warehouse just there. So it'll be interesting to see whether these make a return. Maybe in the near future, maybe as something else, maybe like a throwback to a particular ride, an Easter egg in another new attraction. Be interesting to see, but nice that they've kept it all. Anyway, first ride of the day today is going to be Saw the Ride. It's so great to see Colossus running again here at Thorpe Park Resort, and to the left of me you can see some of the new track pieces that they installed. It was installed by a company called Tazika. They also did the big one over at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Great company, but yeah, they had quite a lot of problems with doing this track, I hear. So it's great to see that Colossus is back open. And of course, later on, we'll be taking a ride on this Intamin multi-inversion coaster here at the resort to see whether this retracking work really makes a difference to the ride experience. It's literally only this bit that's been retracked, so hopefully in the future they can do a little bit more. But yeah, it's great to see that they're looking after one of the oldest thrill attractions here at the park, and here it comes. Great timing with that. Anyway, we're gonna head over to Saw the Ride first and take a ride on this Gerstlauer Eurofighter. Dun, 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 dun. Saw 10's coming out this year, so I wonder whether we'll see any enhancements to Saw. Maybe brings back some actors during Halloween, during Fright Nights here at the park, or potentially could they save Saw alive from drowning? I think it's very unlikely, but it would be nice to see some enhancements to Saw for Saw 10 coming out September. I mean, that is just a high quality piece of theme in there. I mean, you don't get that at Disney, you don't get that at Universal, you get it here at Saw the Ride at Thorpe Park. Lovely bit of theming, straight from Saw movie. That's one of the traps that they used. They're very lucky here at Thorpe Park with the Saw theme, because as things start to wear down, like this floor and like that wall, they can sort of get away with it because it's the Saw theme. So as things wear down and as things become tired and old, it just enhances the theme even more. Very lucky with this sort of theme, a very dark horror theme for the park. It's always great to get back on Saw the Ride here at Thorpe Park, and whilst I don't enjoy it as much as I used to, it's still got a good theme. The indoor section is really good. You've got a first drop on there and also an inversion that goes over a dead body, which sometimes, if you're lucky, it squirts water. The outdoor section doesn't really do much for me. It's got a few inversions, it's quite short as well, Saw the Ride, but most of all it's a headbanger, and that really ruins the experience for me. Next up though, it's time for a ride on Colossus here at Thorpe Park, which recently reopened after it's had not a full retrack, but a partial retrack for the last few Cobra rolls of the ride. But yeah, it's great to see this attraction back open, one of the original rides here at Thorpe Park that really made Thorpe Park a thrill park. So it's got quite a lot of memories for many people, Colossus, but it could do with a little bit of refurbishment in the queue line. But actually it's great to see that Thorpe Park are retracking it and preserving their older attractions, which is great. At least one of the Merlin roller coasters still has blue lighting in the station. Come on Galactica, how's Colossus beating you? I'd be lying to you if I said that tiny bit of retrack made a colossal difference to Colossus, because it made no difference really at all to the whole ride experience. The whole ride was still rough. However, when you came up to these few Cobra rolls just here, it was actually quite smooth, to be fair. What they need on there, they need new trains. They need the sick trains that are at Flamingo Land with that nice comfortable lap bar with a seatbelt on there. The restraints on those are terrible. They're really hard on your shoulders. They're just not nice, and it ruins the experience for me, because Colossus could actually be a really good ride, but it isn't, because of how rough it is and because of the train design. If you're tall and you're sitting on the back of any of the trains, then it's going to be a very uncomfortable ride, because your legs do not have a lot of space. The leg room on that isn't great, but it's good to see that they're retracking Colossus, and hopefully in the future they'll do a little bit more than just that Cobra roll just there, because it does make a difference when you're going past it. However, the rest of the ride is still the same old Colossus that we know. Yeah, as I said, it doesn't really make a huge difference to Colossus, but maybe next close season they'll plan to do the rest of this Cobra roll line, because it does get a little bit rough towards this section, but also towards the bottom there, the train does have quite a lot of rattle. But it's nice to see that they made the effort and preserving their older attractions, which is great to see. With that said though, I'm going to head to Nemesis Inferno next, the only currently operating Nemesis in the UK and probably the whole world. Is there another coaster called Nemesis? I don't know, but we'll head over to Inferno next. Just like their bigger brother or bigger sister, Thorpe Park also do offer free sun cream. Run, don't walk. Now, I absolutely love Alton Towers, and this is only my second visit to Thorpe Park this season. What Thorpe do a lot better than Alton Towers is actually having permanent flat rides. I know Alton Towers don't seem to understand that vocabulary, because here at Thorpe Park they've got a huge range of flat rides. You've got Rush just here, and yes, it doesn't swing as much as it used to, but they've actually got a flat ride unlike Alton Towers. Tidal Wave. Well, it's definitely the weather today to have a ride on this big water ride here at Thorpe Park. It gets you absolutely soaked. Not as soaked though as Valhalla, which we will be getting on soon. If you haven't already, go and check out our reviews from Valhalla, the new reimagined ride at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, but I will be getting back on it in just a few weeks time, so stay tuned. But for now, we've got Tidal Wave here at Thorpe Park, one of the wettest water rides in the UK. Will I have a ride? I don't know. You're gonna have to stay tuned and watch to the end of the video to see if I have a ride on Tidal Wave. You might be disappointed, but I don't know. We'll see how sunny it gets later on. Apparently it's gonna rain, so we'll see whether we have a ride on Tidal Wave. But with that said, here comes the boat on Tidal Wave. Hopefully I've got that timing right, because I can't actually see it. Come on, please. Come on, do it for the vlog. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. There we go, there's Tidal Wave. Woo! Well, I stopped the recording there because a huge wave came over, it hit the top of the shed just there, made a loud noise, and I got really scared, really concerned that it was going to get me wet, and I don't want to get wet before I go on Inferno and the new ghost train here at Thorpe Park. So I stopped it just to be on the safe side. It's always better to be on the safe side. But here comes another boat on Tidal Wave, and yeah, definitely recommend riding this any time of the day, because usually it doesn't really have that big of a queue, probably max 20 minutes for it. Here comes another boat though. I'm not going to record it this time. Not going to stop recording rather, because you don't get wet on this side. If you're on that wet side, rest in peace. A new food outlet here at Thorpe Park is Granny's Apple Fries. It's made its way to many of the Merlin parks, Legoland and Chessington, and it's also made its way to Thorpe Park. Not my sort of thing, but it is here if you do want it. And another thing that's made its way to Thorpe Park is Fanta Frozen, the new partners with Merlin. They've been introduced also to Alton Towers. Way better than the previous slush puppies that they had. Next up, it's time for a ride on Nemesis Inferno, the only operating Nemesis this season. And yeah, while people do slate Inferno, it actually has a really good layout, and the forces it pulls are actually quite fun. It's an enjoyable ride, and I like Inferno because it has that indoor section with all the steam and mist and also lighting. So it's a good ride, nowhere near as good as the original Nemesis, but it's nice and smooth. Definitely smoother than the original Nemesis, but I think that'll all change next year when Nemesis, rumoured to be Nemesis Reborn, returns to Alton Towers. But for now, the best we're going to get is Nemesis Inferno. And you can see Detonator behind, which we'll also take a ride on a little bit later on. And yeah, Nemesis Inferno is a lot smoother than Nemesis, but it's just not the same, with Nemesis being built down into a big pit and all the near-miss elements, the tunnels. It's just not the same. But it is nice to have a Nemesis at another Merlin park. while Nemesis Inferno isn't quite Nemesis, it's still a great B&M invert down here at Thorpe Park, and I feel like if they didn't use the Nemesis branding upon opening, it'd be much more highly regarded as a roller coaster here in the UK. But it's still great. The pre-drop section on it is really good as well. They've got some smoke and some lights, and because it's the carnival event running here at Thorpe Park during the summer, they've got a unique dispatch sequence on there as well, which is nice, something a bit different here on Nemesis Inferno. But with that said, I'm going to head to the most highly themed ride here at Thorpe Park. Of course, it's Walking Dead the ride. I forgot to record this bit at Thorpe Park, so I'm recording it at home, but Deaf Doors has started construction underneath Nemesis Inferno. Now, this is a scare zone attraction at Thorpe Park Fright Nights last year, and now it seems like we're having it back for 2023 Fright Nights at the resort. And yeah, this was like a little scare zone attraction. It was free of charge. You could go in there, go up and knock at each door, and yeah, get a little surprise if you're lucky. But yeah, it started construction. Most of the walls have actually been put up, and it looks like it's near to complete, to be honest. They just need to do a few things with the entrance and also install some lighting, and I assume some speakers for audio as well. But it has been put up, and wow, Thorpe Park are really kicking Fright Nights off early this year, aren't they? Already started construction. Could this mean we're going to be starting to see some construction of the mazes this year? Are we going to get any new mazes, or is it going to be the same lineup as last year? But what we do know is that Fright Nights construction has commenced. It's time for a ride on Walking Dead the ride, and on the front entrance it said that live actors may be included, so hopefully we do have some live actors, because it enhances the experience a little bit more, because let's be honest, Walking Dead the ride isn't the best themed attraction. It's not that thrilling, so the actors can really add to it on the exit corridor, or potentially even on the entrance corridor. Makes it a lot better. But yeah, Walking Dead the ride, it's a nice indoor coaster. This is one that I would really like to be like project manager of, because it has so much potential with the theme, and I love indoor coasters, and I think this could actually be something special if they put the time and money into it. But it's a good attraction down here at Thorpe, a nice filler attraction, and usually it's only on about 20 minutes, which this queue today looks like it'll be. It's nice to get back on Walking Dead the ride here at Thorpe Park. It is literally begging though for more theming. Some of the effects and some of the zombie animatronics in there are quite good. Like you have the blast of smoke with orange lighting to make it look like fire, and some of the zombies banging on the cages are quite good, but it is begging for more theming. Like it just feels quite sparse in some of the areas, just black. But yeah, it could be a really highly immersive attraction, and hopefully one day they'll make some changes, maybe do refurbishment to it, potentially change the theme, just make it a little bit more immersive rather than it being just sort of like a roller coaster in the dark. But it is good to have a roller coaster indoors, especially for the bad weather here in the early season and October time, something that Alton Towers will be getting in 2025. Project Horizon. Go and check out that video if you haven't already, because we discuss what potentially could be making its way to Alton Towers in 2025. But before I continue with the day down here at Thorpe Park, they've got this nice little picnic area, new for 2023 here at Thorpe Park. Containment was removed and they've pebble dashed it, oh I guess you can call that, and yeah, got loads of benches in here as well. And they've also moved the hashtag Thorpe Park sign there as well, which celebrates 20 years of Nemesis Inferno. Had a nice packed lunch then down here at Thorpe Park in the brand new picnic area. I can now tick that off the bucket list. I've had a picnic in the picnic area at Thorpe Park, a nice cheese roll, and I'll tell you a little fact now. Curly fries here at the park used to be £3, but they've now gone up to £6. They've doubled in price. They've gone up by 100%, which is absolutely insane. But you do get your Merlin discount, I believe, with those curly fries, so it does bring the price down just that little bit. But next up, it's time for a ride on the 2000 Detonator. Opened the year 2000. 3 of the permanent flat rides that opened here at Thorpe Park opened in 2000, something that Alton Towers need. I'm so glad I went on Detonator. It's only 35 meters tall, nothing compared to what Apocalypse was or Hurricane Condor over at Portaventura. But while it's not that high, it certainly makes up for it in terms of the drop. It's so forceful, and basically on there, rather than just free falling you, it actually has a mechanism where it pushes you down, so it's a really forceful drop. Really enjoyed Detonator, and definitely one of the best, if not the best drop tower in the UK, especially with Apocalypse gone. Detonator is such a good drop tower, and Angry Birds Land, while it doesn't really make sense here at Thorpe Park, you can still meet the main Angry Bird himself, Red, down here at Thorpe Park. He's out and about during different times of the day, which is great to see. Angry Birds Land doesn't belong at Thorpe Park, but it's nice that they've got some characters out. WWTP Radio here at Thorpe Park in Amity Cove, or Amity Beach, whatever it's called. Stealth, one of the fastest coasters here in the UK. And yeah, let's head into the main entrance. And yeah, it's literally only on about a 10-minute queue. I had a look before I came in the queue, and literally, look, there it is, look, literally at those steps, barely any queue for Stealth, which is great to see. I love this coaster, one of the best launches in the world in my opinion. I've been on Red Force over at Ferrari Land, and still these old-fashioned sort of hydraulic launches still have more of an oomph than the new magnetic launches in my opinion, that like Icon uses and stuff like that. But Stealth is such a great ride here at Thorpe Park, such a basic layout, but still does what it says on the tin like Oblivion, but does it well. To 80 in 2.3 seconds. It's always great to get back on Stealth down here at Thorpe Park Resort. Still remains as one of my favourite launch coasters in the whole entire world. That launch, the hydraulic launch on Stealth, is always amazing, and the top hat is an awesome part of the ride. It says what it does on the tin, and it does it very well. In fact, it does it to precision here on Stealth. But with that said, I've had a really good visit so far down here to Thorpe Park. Queues have been to a minimum, only waited about 5 minutes for Stealth, put my bag into the luggage hold and headed straight onto the ride itself. But yeah, really enjoyed it. But yeah, the queues really have been pretty much near to nothing. For a summer holiday visit down to Thorpe Park, I was expecting queues to be at least 1 hour today. So I'm very happy with the 20-30 minute queues that I've been getting today. I think the weeks leading up to the summer holidays are the busiest time for all UK theme parks because of those school trips. But Stealth, very good. I haven't waited that long this whole season, considering my first trip to Thorpe Park I waited probably about an hour for Stealth, and I'm in the summer holidays, waited 5 minutes for it. Brilliant. Always recommend coming on a Sunday if you can, although I'm coming here on a Saturday, but try and make it a Sunday if you can, because I believe it will be even quieter on a Sunday. And talking of Sunday visits, go and check out the most recent Alton Towers vlog here on the channel, because we visited there on a Sunday and also queues were very, very low. So go and check that out after you've finished watching this Thorpe Park vlog. With that said, might head over to the Rapids or potentially do Swarm next. Time for a ride on the Rumba Rapids, previously known as Ribena Rapids here at the park. Of course, the very popular drink. Seems like Thorpe Park quite like partnering up with drinks companies, don't they? Tidal Wave, sponsored by Oasis, and of course Rumba Rapids here used to be sponsored by Ribena. And yeah, this is one of the only rapids here in the UK that still has a wave machine on where you bash against the rocks. So I've just been on the average river rapids down here at Thorpe Park. Not great, to be honest. Needs a bit more theming and some more water effects. At least Congo River Rapids at Alton Towers actually has its waterfalls back on. Bear in mind actually, Thorpe Park River Rapids do have some waterfalls. They're not the greatest, but they've still at least got some sort of waterfalls. Don't get you wet at all. And you've got an indoor section as well on the river rapids here at Thorpe Park. They just don't have anything in, which is a bit unfortunate. A bit more theming would be nice on that. Potentially revert it back to Ribena Rapids, you never know. That had a bit more theme with like the blackberries, black currants all around the ride. But yeah, anyway, made my way down here to Swarm, the B&M Wing coaster, the newest coaster down here at Thorpe Park. But that will all change next year when Project Exodus is built. It's going to be towering over there. It's going to be the tallest roller coaster here in the UK. It's going to be brilliant. But here comes Swarm down its first drop and into its first inversion. Yeah, I always liked Swarm, and now actually Thorpe Park offers Swarm Stealth and Nemesis Inferno rooms over in the Thorpe Park Shark cabins. It's not a hotel, but it is like little cabins, basically a shipping container. You're sleeping in a shipping container. But yeah, they offer different themed rooms now. I've had a look at some pictures, and I'm going to be honest, they don't look great. They've just got like loads of vinyls around, not really any physical things. And if you haven't, I definitely recommend checking out the Smiler Room video, which we filmed last year at Alton Towers, because that was very exciting, very expensive, but very cool to stay in a Smiler themed room. But yeah, heading over to Swarm now. I think it's only on about a 30-minute queue, but we'll head over and see the queue time in just a few minutes. And also got a Sprite just here. Of course, always has to be a Sprite or a lemonade. That costs $4.20. And no, don't worry, it's not for a single Sprite, also an Oasis. So altogether it costs $4.20, and that includes of course the Gold Merlin Pass discount, which is at 20%. Is this the end of the world? Well, it's not the end of the world, but it is the end of the Swarm being the only wing coaster here in the UK, because the World of Jumanji at Chessington also has a wing coaster, and rather than the Swarm, that's a full circuit, that one is a shuttle coaster, so it launches you forward and also backwards. But the Swarm still remains as one of the best wing coasters here in the UK. I mean, it's only one of two, so it's not exactly a hard competition, but still, it's a great ride here at Thorpe Park, and it has some good theming around, and also some awesome near-miss elements. The Swarm opened back in 2012 here at Thorpe Park, and once was the only wing coaster here in the UK. And usually I do really enjoy a ride on the Swarm. It's got that B&M smoothness, but today the restraints were so restrictive. They've got the vest restraints similar to the ones on Mandrill Mayhem at Chessington, and today they were just so restricted, really hurt these shoulder bones. And as I went through the inversions, it only got tighter, which ruined the ride for me a little bit. Mandrill Mayhems at Chessington did not get that tight a few months ago, but Swarms really got tight, and on the last sort of section of the ride I was really like, wow, I want to get out of these restraints as soon as possible, because they were just that tight. And on the final turnaround section, or the final turn rather of Swarm, that was really slow today. The brakes were on full power, literally the train nearly came to a stop on there, and yeah, we sort of crawled around that corner at a really slow speed. But nonetheless, Swarm, it's a good ride, but shame that the shoulder vest restraints ruined it a bit for me this time. And I said I might do it at the start of the vlog, and I am going to do it. It's time for a ride on one of the wettest water rides in the UK. It's Tidal Wave with its fantastic entrance signage just there. And yeah, I'm completely out of breath because I had to run to Tidal Wave, because the current time is nearly 7 o'clock, like 3 minutes to 7. So we made it just in time for a ride on Tidal Wave. I am going on with a poncho though, so hopefully I don't get too wet on here. But it's always nice to have a ride on Tidal Wave. My first one of the season down here at Thorpe Park gets you absolutely soaked. This is probably going to be my only ride on Tidal Wave this season, because probably won't be coming back to Thorpe Park till about Halloween. So, and that's really not a time to ride Tidal Wave, trust me. I've done it before and I don't want to do it again. But yeah, it's got a 1-drop special on this one, and loads of trickles as well before you head on the actual ride. Look, loads of trickles like rain. But yeah, it's a good ride. Opened back in the year 2000, this one. And yeah, the queue line's quite nicely themed as well, which is awesome. Oh, all the raindrops coming down. Nice. Yeah, I had a few re-rides on Stealth just there, and also another ride on Nemesis Inferno, not actual Nemesis. But yeah, we're going to get the ponchos out and head on Tidal Wave. So I've just had a ride on Tidal Wave, one of the wettest water rides here in the UK, but I didn't get 1 drop of wetness because, pan down camera woman, because here I've got the Drayton Manor poncho, and it keeps me nice and dry. It's Drayton Manor, £6 from Drayton Manor. Keeps me dry. The only bit of my body that actually got wet was the back of my head and my face, because I didn't put the hood up. But still, the Drayton Manor poncho, one of the best ponchos out there. It's one of the best in the business, and it didn't get me wet on Tidal Wave. It's one of the wettest water rides. It's a 1-drop special, and yeah, I really enjoyed that. But the good thing with Tidal Wave, it's got chlorinated water, so it's better than having dirty pond water like Stormforce tenders over at Drayton Manor. But really good ride, Tidal Wave. And it's got some good theming about it as well. Had the last ride of the day on that, and yeah, there we go. My annual ride on Tidal Wave is now complete. Come on, let's go. No more rides on Tidal Wave till next season. Drayton Manor poncho coming in use here at Thorpe Park Resort. And look, my jeans match it. How coincidental. I didn't even plan that. Look, the jeans match the poncho. How incredible. But yeah, always great to get back on Tidal Wave here at Thorpe Park Resort. One of the wettest in the UK. Not the wettest. That goes to probably Tidal Wave. No, not Tidal Wave. Stormforce 10 over at Drayton Manor, or potentially Valhalla, because those two are some of the wettest water rides here in the UK. But Tidal Wave still ranks pretty high here in the UK. But with that said, it's 7 o'clock. Park closed down here at Thorpe Park. Opened at 10 today and of course closes at 7 p.m. during the carnival event. Really enjoyed my visit today. This has been one of the best visits to Thorpe Park in a very long time. Usually the queues are very long here. There's people vaping in the queue in your face, but actually today it was a very, very good visit. Very enjoyed it. None of that behaviour, or I haven't seen no one graffitiing in the queue, no one vaping in your face. It's been quite a nice visit, and the opening hours are much longer, well, 1 hour longer than Alton Towers, which is always good, and queue times have been to a minimum, and also operations on coasters have been really good today. Really enjoyed it. Around the resort as well, they've also updated the logos for Burger King. What do you think, the new or old logo? Let me know in the comments down below. Burger King, old logo. For me, it's got to be that old logo. The new logo is just a bit too simple. And here is the construction site for Project Exodus, making its way to the park in 2024. And next season, we'll be standing here and seeing a huge lift hill, the tallest in the UK, towering over Thorpe Park. It's going to be a whopping, a colossal, a monstrous 1 foot taller than the big one over at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, depending on how you measure the big one. We'll leave that debate for now. But yeah, here's a piece of machinery that'll be used to drill into the ground for the supports of the ride and the foundations. I believe it's in the very sort of early to mid stages now. The supports have arrived though over on Thorpe Park Farm, I believe they are. It's not an actual farm, by the way. It used to be a farm. But yeah, the supports have arrived there. And yeah, they're just currently being stored there. And yeah, it's a nice white colour for the supports as well. Nice to have a bit of a brighter colour here at Thorpe Park. We've got Stealth, which is white as well. But Saw the Ride in this area is going to be is a black sort of dark colour. So it's nice to have a little bit of a lighter sort of white here. It leaves the question though, what will the track for the ride be? We believe it's going to be gold apparently, and we believe it's going to be an Egyptian theme, which will be very interesting to see in the future. Of course, all that will be sort of the final things, putting the theming in and everything like that. But right now, it's just a lot of machinery, to be honest. I'll leave Jack Silkstone to do all these updates. But yeah, there's loads of like rubble on the ground, those cages over there that we can see, some of the foundations and supports there for the supports for the supports. Those are like ground pins, I guess you call them. And yeah, just loads of rubble as of now. But yeah, this will be opening in 2024 here at Thorpe Park. There's loads of diggers currently, not really much to say. I mean, considering this is going to be the tallest in the UK, it's interesting how Nemesis at the minute is getting all the hype, but that's just because of how quickly they're putting Nemesis back up. Whereas this is a completely new project, of course, they're doing all the groundwork and everything like that. But it's very exciting to see. Brand new coaster to Thorpe Park, definitely needed. It's been over 10 years now since we've had a new roller coaster here at the resort, but it is very exciting. I'm very intrigued to see the theme and the colour of the track. If they're going for a gold track, it'll be interesting to see how shiny it is, but they've got all these construction walls up. That looks like it's been punched, but yeah, someone got angry that it's not open. Yeah, you've got all these walls, and it'd be a bit nice more to see sort of more Project Exodus branding on here rather than just the generic events on there. A bit more hype around the ride would be good. Of course, as track starts to arrive here at the resort, I'll be back to cover all the latest updates, but at the minute, I'm going to be honest, it's a little bit boring. There's just groundwork taking place. You've seen it all before, I'm pretty sure, by pictures and images, and especially Jack Silkstone's awesome updates from inside the actual construction site. I recommend checking out his channel if you want to see Project Exodus updates. For me, I'm all about Nemesis, but you know, it's still exciting seeing Project Exodus go up here at Thorpe Park. The question is, what will it actually be called? I don't know. What will it be called? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If it's Egyptian theme, are we going to see some sort of Egyptian name? I'm not too sure, but that reminds me there. Look, let's just get a bit of a close-up of that. Horizon, Alton Towers, Project Horizon. Yeah, I see what they're doing there, Thorpe Park, promoting their sister park. I see what you're doing, I see what you're doing. But yeah, anyway, Project Exodus coming to Thorpe Park in 2024, the UK's tallest. Let me know your thoughts and your predictions for this brand new coaster here at Thorpe Park. Down here at Saw the Ride as well, they've actually implemented this new piece of theming. Look how lovely that looks. Really adds to the Saw aesthetic. If you're wondering where this is from, then this was from the queue line of Saw Alive. Oh, I just got my hand in a cobweb there. Anyway, yeah, this is from the queue line of Saw Alive, which has actually been recently moved across the lake. If you've seen the other vlog here from Thorpe Park at the start of the season, I did show how the boat has been moved to another part of the sort of lake here at Thorpe Park. But it's nice to see they're reusing some of the theming. I mean, any theming, let's be honest, goes with the Saw franchise. They could literally put a metal rod here and it would go with the theme. But nice to see they're still caring about their older attractions here at Thorpe Park. And why not? If Saw Alive's sinking, transfer all of the theming here and let the old boat sink. Just to clarify, I did say old boat there, not old bog, definitely. So there we go, that concludes my visit down here to Thorpe Park Resort. It's not very often that I say this, but I actually very thoroughly enjoyed my visit today. Usually this park is absolutely packed and the queues are huge, over an hour for every ride. But today, the queues were around about 25 minutes, which is not too bad, and stealth was pretty much walk on all day. And talking of stealth, I've actually got, come in. I've actually got a Thorpe Park Resort stealth cushion. This was £15, 20%, well 10%, £1.50, 20%, £3. So yeah, Merlin Pass discount, £12 for the stealth wheel. I'm gonna put that in my bedroom, on my bed, and have a nice comfy sleep tonight. But Thorpe Park Resort, it's been a very, there it is again, it's been a very good visit down here, and it was topped with a nice ride on Tidal Wave to end it with Oscar down here. Been a very good day, have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, very good day, yeah. With that said though, Thorpe Park in the summer holidays, it's not actually as busy as you think, and I think it's actually busier sort of the weeks before leading up to the summer holidays, as I said earlier, because of those school trips. But there we go, Thorpe Park Resort. If you did enjoy the video, do consider subscribing, and if you got this far, let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, go and check out the most recent Nemesis update, because the loop has gone in. It's an exciting one. With that said though, I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.